Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jack Knott, and I'm the Dean of the USC Sol Price School of Public Policy. And on behalf of the Sol Price School, I'm my great pleasure to welcome you to this event, including all of the students, faculty, alumni, and members of the press who are here. Today's forum is sponsored by the USC Schwarzenegger Institute for State and Global Policy, in partnership with the USC Center for Sustainable Cities, both of which are part of the Price School at USC. Sitting on stage are our distinguished scientists who will share their work with us on the impact of climate change in the United States. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce each of them and thank them for their participation. And then maybe once I've said their names, we can have a round of applause for their participation. First, Dr. Philip Duffy from the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Dr. Tom Svetnin from the University of Arizona, Dr. David Pierce from the Scripps Institution at USC San Diego, Dr. Rupa Basu from the California Office of Environmental Health Hazards Assessment, and Matthew Haberger, PE, from the Pacific Institute. Also joining them on stage is Professor Hilda Blanco. I especially want to thank Dr. Blanco, who is the director of the USC Center for Sustainable Cities and who is one of the lead authors on the climate assessment report. Could we welcome our guest? So I'm very pleased that the Schwarzenegger Institute and the Center for Sustainable Cities has taken the initiative to convene such prominent thought leaders on this important topic of climate change. At the university, through our research, our education, and our outreach, we seek to find innovative and enduring solutions that will help improve the quality of life for people and their communities everywhere, what we call knowledge in action. With forums like this, we have the opportunity to learn from leading experts in the field and to focus on public policies that could best address these complex and critical challenges. So at this time, it is my great honor to introduce our next speaker, though truthfully, he really needs no introduction. We are privileged to have the Schwarzenegger Institute's founder and chair of the board with us this afternoon. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is the 38th governor of the state of California, has been a leader and advocate on many significant issues, and indeed climate change is one issue that he really cares passionately about. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Knott, for the wonderful introduction. It's exactly the way I wrote it. Thank you, and thank you very much to all of you for being here today, and thank you also to all the scientists for their great work and for being here today. I'm proud to be here at the Price School for Public Policy for this event. I also like to thank Hilda Blanco and the USC Center for Sustainable Cities for co-hosting this event. Let's give her a big hand again for the great work. Finally, to Professor Nancy Stout, our academic director, and Barney Reiss, our global director, for everything they do for the USC Schwarzenegger Institute. Let's give both of them a big hand. Now, I'm really proud that the Schwarzenegger Institute is hosting this public commenting session for the National Climate Assessment right here at USC. I'm proud for two reasons. First, this is an important report, and I want to shine the spotlight on this issue. And second, I'm proud because there is no place that is better than to discuss the solutions of the issues presented in this report than right here at our great state. California has always led the way in protecting our environment. I mean, over the last few decades, there has been great action happening here in this state. And because of that, we are 40% more energy efficient than the rest of the United States. In fact, if the rest of the country would be as energy efficient as we are, we could literally close 75% of our coal-fired power plants. Now, just to give you an idea of how much that is, how much we would reduce in greenhouse gases, it's like taking 187 million cars off the road. That's what we're talking about. California has built a strong green tradition that has continued no matter which party controls the governor's office. In fact, it was Governor Reagan who created the California Air Resources Board and then gave it the power to ban cars that polluted. But right after that, it was Governor Jerry Brown who passed the first tax incentive for solar power in the nation. So I'm proud of our leadership in clean energy and environmental stewardship. So it's really fantastic to be here today and to talk about this report and keep leading the way here in California. But before we get to the great work of these brilliant scientists, I would like to start talking a little bit about my yearly physical. That's right. As I get a little bit older and wiser, I realize that I'm less and less of a machine. And it is more important to visit my doctors for physicals, for checkups. I'm sure that many of you are in the same boat here. Now, these checkups are so routine that they can be boring, but they are also so important to us because we diagnose concerns before they become disasters. Like, for instance, if you have cholesterol that is a little bit too high, the doctor recommends that we change our diet, or if necessary, take some medication. If there's, for instance, blockage of the artery, the doctor maybe prescribes more exercise, less stress, maybe a little bit of Lipitor. If we are smart, we listen to our doctors and we make the adjustments. But if we are stupid, we ignore our doctors and we ignore their advice. And then it takes major wake-up calls, like dizziness, faint spell, or even a heart attack to start making those changes that the doctors recommended in the first place. Now, what we're doing here today is exactly the same thing. There's no difference. So the National Climate Assessment is our physical. I'm as eager to hear the findings of this assessment as much as I'm always eager to hear the outcome of my physical. We are doing here great work. We're in good hands here. These scientists have done thorough research, and they can tell us our condition and give us a prescription of what we need to do to improve the health of our climate. The core of their report is this: our region is hotter than it has ever been, and it's getting hotter, and we are causing it. The past decade was the hottest the Southwest United States has experienced, 2 degrees warmer than historical averages. Now, maybe that's not much to some of you, but let me tell you, when I was governor, I saw firsthand many of the impacts of that heat. Droughts, heat waves that threatened lives, and fires. Now, I know fires draw a lot of attention, but it doesn't take a firestorm to ruin lives. I have toured a town up in the Central Valley, Mendota, where the drought has forced almost half of the population into unemployment. It was a disastrous and sad situation. And this was just one of many, many examples. These great minds here gathered, they would tell us all about the risks that we face if we do nothing. Just like we do at our yearly physical, it is now our duty to listen to them and then to encourage action. Action all over the country, in the city halls, in the state capitals, in Washington, in the private sector, nonprofit sector, in the academic sector, and for each and every one of us to participate. As a matter of fact, I just sent a letter to Congress to urge them to listen to these scientists and then to take action. Now, we are so fortunate that California and other cities and other states are already moving forward in a positive way. And they're providing inspiration and leadership and a blueprint for those who want to join us. So there's great and positive work going on. Now, enough dialogue. Let's go now and listen to those brilliant scientists. And of course, we have a great Emcee, which is Bonnie Reiss, our global director. Please welcome Bonnie Reiss.
Thank you, Arnold. When Arnold asked me just a little over 7 months ago if I would be global director of this new institute, it was a great honor. And I said to Arnold that I'm not just honored because I'll be able to continue to work to support the many policy issues he was so passionate about when he was governor of California, but it was an ability for me, who served as his senior advisor and then as California Secretary of Education, to continue to work on many of the policy issues I was so passionate about, and thousands of people that worked in the Schwarzenegger administration were so passionate about, and millions of Californians were so passionate about. And it was a brilliant idea of Arnold's for us to come and be based and partner with USC. And we're very thankful to Jack Knott that we're housed here at the Price School of Public Policy. For a lot of obvious reasons, not just because USC is based in LA and is one of the most respected universities in our country and in our world, not just because USC has some of the best and brightest students from all over the world that are here, but also because USC and Jack and the School of Public Policy share the global vision, and like Jack said in his brief comments, understand that in order to attract the best and brightest students that care to be in public policy here and to properly educate them, you need to get the very, very best professors here that are not only really smart and really knowledgeable about public policy, but possess that rare combination of understanding public policy but understanding the nuances of how you put it into action and what it takes to bring it outside of the classroom. And that's why this partnership is so wonderful. And today's event is a perfect example of how that works in action. Because Professor Hilda Blanco, who's a professor here at the Price School of Public Policy and also is the director of the USC Center for Sustainable Cities, is one of the lead authors of this climate assessment report focused on the Southwest region of the United States. So Hilda approached me, we're all here, like we're family here at the Price School. So Hilda approached me about a month ago, and she said that this report is out, and it's profound, even though today you're going to hear highlights about the Southwest region of the United States. But the scientists talk about in the report, you all have a link to it, the scientists talk about how this is impacting every region in the United States and every sector of our society. And she said that it's open for public comment until April 12th, and unfortunately, it's not getting much public attention at all. So would the Schwarzenegger Institute and Arnold Schwarzenegger be willing to host one of the public comment forums so we can get more public attention? Because the public needs to know what's going on with this information, because Hilda understands and we understand that it's important for the public to know, and then it's important for the public to put pressure on political leaders so the right policies are put in place. Or as Arnold says, not just the right policies in place at cities, states, and the national level, but private action as well. Nonprofits, business, individual action is so important to this. So of course I called Arnold, and it took him maybe all of 1, maybe 2 seconds to say, yes, we should do this. And then we reached out to Dan Masmanian, who's also a professor here at the Price School of Public Policy and actually was dean of the Price School. And Dan is a walking encyclopedia, one of the most knowledgeable people about California policies on environment. And Dan was really, really helpful to us in putting this together, and we thank you, Dan. But that's an example of the power of collaboration, the power of partnership between Arnold and the Schwarzenegger Institute and the Center and USC and the Price School. So we just wanted to say that this is a powerful partnership. It takes collaboration, and we're very grateful. So there's a lot of important people to hear from today. I'm going to give you a rundown of how it's going to go. Hilda's going to be getting up, and Hilda will be individually introducing each scientist. And they're just going to give you, because they only have a little bit of time, so they're going to give you highlights from their particular area of expertise. More information is available if you want to access their research or the climate assessment report. And then when the scientists are done with their presentations, we're going to go to public comment. We have 9 people confirmed for public comment. They too have prepared their comments to be between 3 and 5 minutes, because we want at the end to be able to leave some time, especially for our USC students who are here. That's important to the Price School, it's important to Arnold, it's important to us, that so much of what we do is about making these great minds available to our USC students. We're overwhelmed by the response. We're very pleased, both in terms of the audience. Because of that, we couldn't fit everyone in here. We are live webcasting this event, so other USC students that aren't able to be in here now will be able to access this information. And we're also very grateful to the media response. Because like Arnold said, you know, it fires, you have big fires and you get media attention. You have a Katrina and a big hurricane, you get media attention. You have a storm like Sandy in New York and you get media attention. But this science, this underlying things that are going on that are impacting and impacting these very issues don't seem to get enough media attention. So we're very grateful to the media that are here to cover it.